What is going on, world? Welcome back to the Fandalorian Club, the Star Wars fan club where we review anything new going on in a galaxy far, far away. I have yet again been quested with hosting the Fandalorian Club, but Brian has been quested to join me. I am Jacob Bartley, aka Obi-Wan Jacoby. That is Brian Avalosino, as you see the Grand Admiral Sino. What is going on, Brian?
Ready to talk a little Star Wars? Another Friday, another Mando episode.
Yes. So, funny story. We did our watch along last night of Ocean's 11. You should check it out if you haven't. Mm-hmm. And we were all talking about how we're going to stay up till midnight. I did not make it till midnight. I fell asleep and I woke up. But lately, I think every episode so far I've watched Thursday night or early Friday morning, right? This is the first time I woke up and to watch The Mandalorian, so it was kind of nice.
Oh, yeah. See, ever since last week, I've kind of been like,
just stay up.
Should I push it? Like, the first thing I do when I wake up is check my phone, and so
that's a good point.
I'm terrified. Obviously, next week I'm not gonna wait.
Oh yeah.
But
no, that's a good point about the phone, because I was on my phone this morning when I first woke up. I mean, that's the first thing everyone does. And so if you go on Google, like, it has stories, like popular stories. And I saw a Star Wars one. I was like, nope. I exit out of my phone. Yeah. Like, I just saw the image of a Star Wars image, and I was like, got to get out of here and watch this. And yeah, this was a fun episode. I mean, this episode made sense. We're reviewing episode chapter 12 titled The Siege. Of course, we kind of knew this was coming. If you pay attention to the story and who's directing, and basically his ship wasn't going to make it to where he needed to go. We knew that. Yeah. So I don't think this stop was forced. I don't think this was a filler episode. It
made sense.
Definitely wasn't a filler episode to me at all, especially once we get some stuff revealed. And if you didn't know, we're going to be talking spoilers. So from now on, it's not safe if you haven't seen the episode. And we're not going to retell the whole story, but we're going to go by this chronologically and just talk about things we liked or disliked throughout the episode. But Brian, did you like the episode overall?
Yeah. I mean, it had some of the best action we've seen.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
Like,
I agree with that.
To be honest, I feel like there was more action than there was story in this one,
which is fine, because me, like, the whole season of the Mandalorian, both is like one big movie. So this was like a 30-minute action scene. You know?
Absolutely, yeah, definitely different. I can't think of a time where it was more action than what you call it,
dialogue or
storytelling, and building a story. So it was fun. It was different. I've seen people say it's the greatest episode. I'm like, oh, okay, hold off a little bit. It does have some.
It might be the best action episode, like, overall.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole entire dang thing was an action scene. It seemed like so. Action-wise, I give it an A+ on that.
Yeah, and Chuck has a comment about Carl Weathers directing. I agree. That was my first thought, because I knew he directed this episode, but then I forgot about it. So when it showed, I was like, oh yeah, that's right, he directed this one. And this is so cool that actors like Bryce Dallas Howard and Carl Weathers, they get to, try out directing on this.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
Absolutely, it's cool because, like, well, for me, I try to, at this point now, avoid the title of the episode and who directed it, because honestly, that's half the surprise almost. It kind of seems like now. Unfortunately, next week is kind of a dead giveaway, and they announced it. But
I don't want to know. But did they say the title of the episode yet for next week? I don't want to know. Don't tell me.
Yeah, the title and director and writer.
Well, we know who the director is the whole time, right? Is it who thought?
Yeah.
Okay. And is he the writer too?
Yeah.
Interesting. It's funny because Favreau writes every episode.
Yeah.
Except those ones, I guess.
Why do you?
We
Why do you
already
think?
talked about it. Dave Filoni's directing episode 5.
Yeah, and that's next week.
Yeah, that's interesting. We'll get to that. We'll talk about that at the end of this. So he's going back to Navarro. We get the Cara Dune action scene, which I thought was really cool. Yet again, Star Wars introduces an adorable little creature. That little, I don't know what it was, little squirrel.
You thought that was adorable? I thought it was.
So no, at
gross
first it was
looking.
ugly. Like they were trying to make us feel bad for it, and it was like I was like, oh, it's just like a rodent. I mean,
are we skipping the very beginning? The
still
very
feel bad
beginning.
for it. Well, we can talk about that, but when he stood up and was like asking for food, it was kind of cute.
Yeah.
But
yes, it reminded me
very
of
beginning,
that weasel from
the
Suicide Squad.
Yeah, that's what I was. That's
I was
the
like,
thing I thought of too.
Yeah, but I liked the beginning. The beginning made me laugh pretty hard.
What was the very big? Oh, when
this guy.
Yeah. Oh, that was hilarious. Like so there's certain episodes, like episode 1, right? The child wasn't really focused on that much. They had a lot of child moments in this episode.
Well, I mean, come on. He shoved him in a little tiny compartment hold, expecting him to, or hope. I don't think he was expecting. I think he was hoping that he would do it, and just
it's a baby.
Screws it up, electrocutes himself, and just I was like, oh my god. And just like, and then, they're just like, screw it. We tried. Let's just eat.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I love it. I like how you could see the toilet in the background.
I know. I love these little things where they show them eating and they show them going to sleep. Like when they took a nap together, that one episode, that was pretty cool.
Well, to me, this picture is so father and child.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's literally like he's imitating him in a way. Like,
and I love
dad.
The little things where like you see him start to take his helmet off, like lift his helmet up, and the child's like looking like he wants to see his face, but he can't. And I'm pretty sure the child saw his face, I mean, on screen in season 1, unless the child wasn't like directly around at the time. Remember, he takes his helmet comes off.
Yeah, but that was IG-88 or IG-11.
Oh, you're right. It was only IG-11 that saw him. That's right. Because
I don't think.
Oh, because he can't take his helmet off in front of somebody.
Yeah, like anything.
I'm not somebody. I'm a robot or whatever. Yeah. That's interesting. It's the child hasn't seen his face.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not something I really even thought of until I saw that.
That's why he was like trying to look up and like he wanted to.
I know he was kind of like,
hey,
what's going on here?
And it's cool that he has an emotional connection with the Mandalorian, and he hasn't even seen him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's trusting him, right? I mean, so
yeah. And I think we could have guessed he was going back to Navarro because his ship needed to get fixed. We hadn't seen them in the trailer yet, and Carl Weathers was directing this episode, so it was kind of all set out for us. And I thought the Cara Dune action scene was fun. So she basically is just like cleaning up crime in the town and making sure everything's good.
She's the marshal.
Yeah, and she's the marshal of that town now, which is pretty cool.
And he's the bookkeeper.
Yeah, and they got a classroom now. They got a school, and the child goes to school.
Just puts him right in the seat, and the kid's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Although Mando's getting a little I was shocked that he left I mean, obviously he wasn't gonna join, but I was like, this is
to
like
be honest,
third time.
One thing I was like, no, you cannot leave the child alone.
Yeah.
You have every like bounty hunters around every corner trying to take you out and get the child. You cannot leave the child.
Yeah, when they were like, he's safe here, I'm like, who's gonna protect him? The 3PO unit? Like that ain't gonna save him. And
well, to be fair, he did think that Moff Gideon was dead, but we knew he wasn't dead.
But either way,
fine. I think our overlay is missing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It was on earlier. I don't know what happened. I think we shared it.
Every time I do it, I switch.
But yeah, I was thinking like, no, idiot, don't leave the child alone.
Yeah, me too.
And
I was
for
like,
a second, once we get to the end of the episode, I thought he was going to be missing for a
I did
minute
too.
there.
Yeah.
And we actually I think Jake or you predicted that the child gets kidnapped in one of these episodes.
Probably Jake.
Yeah.
I don't.
So, I mean, we've been talking about one of my issues with season 2 so far is that the child in season 1, he uses the Force several times. To be fair, they're in very dramatic moments where if he doesn't, somebody's going to die or they're going to die. Stopping the big rhino, stopping the fire from coming in. But we haven't seen
Force
him
choking Cara Dune.
Oh, well, he's force choked, killed somebody, healed somebody. So we've seen it we saw it like 5 or 6 times in season 1. He hasn't used it at all in season 2 when he could have to get himself out of danger and things like that. But we see it implied here. I mean, he uses it, but we don't really see it. And best way ever, he steals the kid's food.
Yeah. What a jerk. That kid, he was like, can I have one? And he's like, no. So Baby Yoda's just like, bitch, I'm going to take those cookies from you.
How many people were like, how many times was "aw" said during this episode?
For me, a lot. I was like, what a rude little kid. He doesn't want to share. First off, how do you not share with something that cute?
I know.
So he's going to take your cookies. He just wanted some cookies.
The mannerisms and the sounds that the child makes are spot on for a baby.
Oh, it's perfection. The cooing. Every time I see the subtitles, because I watch it with subtitles, it's like baby cooing. And I'm like,
exactly.
Oh.
And babies do that. Like, no matter what you're eating, you could be like eating hot Cheetos and a baby will be like, can I have one?
Yeah, give me some. Yeah, it could be anything.
No, that was cool. And I don't know about those blue cookies, though. I wonder what.
They were just macaroons. They were clearly just macaroon cookies.
Dyed blue.
All right. Yeah. So,
I just thought it was, they were like, we got to find a way to just sit the baby in the classroom. Like, it just looked so funny to me.
Yeah. I mean, he obviously wasn't going to join them on something. And that's becoming a trend that Mando is trying to protect him, but he can't take him with him. Let's see to do the ship, steal that ship. He can't take him with him to destroy the base. He can't take him with him to kill the Great Dragon.
When I stole that ship, he left him too.
Yeah.
But he was there with the Crate Dragon scene. He was just like
no, he wasn't.
Up the hill. Wasn't he up top on the hill?
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Well, for a second there, he was with the mechanic lady.
Oh, she
was like,
true. Yeah.
And so,
it's weird to me because he's already been in plenty of danger already. Like he's been in the middle of battles. So
just give him armor.
Just like screw it. Technically he's able to take care of himself more than most people out there. I mean, no matter what, I feel like it's instinct. His force abilities are going to kick in if it comes to life or death, I think. And they have.
Maybe.
They have, though, already. I mean, we've seen the evidence of it.
Yes and no, but I mean, like when he got smacked into the sea creature
that's
thing.
True. I guess he could have stopped it. Technically,
he could have jumped out or something, but he didn't.
You're right.
We don't really know what he's
where he doesn't, though.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, I don't think now that he knows that Moff Gideon's alive, I don't think he can leave the child anywhere now.
Oh no, the child's. Yeah, he'd be dumb if he. Although I'm sure he. Well, I mean, child might go bye-bye after next episode for all we know.
That is a fair point. So of course we get every episode there's a new mission. He has to help somebody do something. So
it seems like there's a new mission and someone returning from season 1.
Yeah. So we have the siege, which is the mission to go and basically destroy this Imperial base that's like under a lava mountain or something. I don't know.
It's
On a
got,
volcano.
Like, something.
And we have the return of is it Horatio Sands? How do you pronounce his name? We have the. I actually thought he was pretty funny in this episode. Like,
yeah,
I
he
didn't
wasn't
mind
bad.
him. Yeah, he was cool.
He was a cowardice alien that was only looking out for himself, and he had a couple good quips in there. Like,
well,
he doesn't even have rails.
Yeah, it seems like they need him though, like because he was doing all the what is it called? The hacking,
blowtorch,
slicing, right? He was doing all the slicing. So I don't know if they would have been able to do all that stuff without him. Maybe that's why Grievous Cargo brought him along. Like he knew he was going to force him to do that stuff. So yeah, so we get they head out to this mission, and they break into this Imperial base, and I didn't really understand. Like, were they making the lava react? Like they were activating it on purpose so it would destroy the base? I think.
Yeah.
So the point.
So they had. So the base was built like on top of said volcano, but it was being controlled so it wouldn't explode.
Oh yeah. And they just took that off. Yeah.
Flipped the reactor or whatever you want to call it, so that way it would explode and destroy the base, essentially. Yeah. So
yeah. So this is where, to me, like this could have been just the mission, right? And that's it. But this is where it's not a filler episode at all, because it helps continue the story. They find out what is going on, why they were trying to steal the child in the first place, which we speculated. They want his blood. They're trying to create force beings. And I don't know if you caught it. I'm sure you did. They said M count, and they are talking about midichlorians. They said he had a high M count.
Well, it was the same scientist from
season 1.
Season 1. Yeah.
So
who happened to have a cloning badge on his uniform.
You're right, from Camino, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So we see like these beings, like I don't know if they were frozen or whatnot.
Well, they're still escaping the base at this point. I mean,
activated the lava thing, and then they're escaping.
If you haven't noticed, for anyone that's watching it hasn't noticed, if you look under Grievous Cargo's right arm, his shooting arm, there's someone from the crew just standing. You can see half a body, a leg, and an arm, and wearing a watch. So unless that's some kind of spy, we have our first Game of Thrones Starbucks coffee cup left on the table type situation. I guarantee you that will be gone within probably the next couple of days. But yeah, it's hilarious.
Does it look like a modern civilian, or does it look like...
Dude, it looks like a guy in... Can you not see it?
I can't really see it that well, to be honest. I can see
it's a guy in jeans, a gray t-shirt, and has a watch on.
Yeah. Now I see it. That's funny.
Yeah. So it's like, oh man, like, no, I mean, whatever. It's not
that big of a deal. I think the coffee cup's worse, because you could just say, oh, that was just a guy standing back there. Like,
I don't know about that, but it's just, I mean, it's so minuscule.
It's kind of dark in there. You can't really see it. So yeah, but that was pretty big. They find out that they wanted the baby's blood to get his M count, or whatever they called it, and that Moff Gideon's still alive. The big to them, it was a big reveal that Moff Gideon is still alive. So now now the child's in more danger, according to the Mandalorian. So he's like, I gotta go get the kid. They head out. Mandalorian goes on his own because he's gonna fly out, and they head out the way they came in, and they're kind of stuck in this tight spot.
The whole speeder chase.
Yeah.
One of the best parts of the whole entire episode.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't got there yet.
No, I thought you were.
This is where this is before they steal that ship. I forget what they called the ship.
I thought you meant they got on the Razor Crest and took off. I was like, God damn, Jacob, you missed the whole entire.
I'm talking about when they steal that ship when they're up top.
Yeah, they're like,
so that was see. This is where I mean, there was action on the base as well,
Yeah.
but then once they get to the base to the end of the episode, it's just action packed all the way.
I mean, the speeder chase,
yes,
that part was just awesome.
Yeah, that I love. So once they get out of there, they crush the speeder, and then they head out.
The two that immediately crash into each other. Like,
so first of all, the Imperial Speeders look amazing. I love it. Just looks so cool. And then it was so funny. They crashed into each other and they blow up and start tumbling down.
Half of them are gone by their own fault.
You idiots! There has to be like a stay a certain amount away from each other. But yeah, the speeder chase was awesome.
I loved the TIE fighters going from like flat to up then
so they take out the speeders and then the TIE fighters head out. And I'm like, oh shoot, how are they gonna get away from these guys? And I think he takes one out.
He took out
one and it like crashed into them and took the gun out, I believe.
Yeah. Or something. I think it got shot, didn't it? Didn't they shoot
it? Crashed on top of the gun. The one that he took out got crashed on top of the gun. And then, of course, I mean, there was like a 1% chance of me that was like, what if they die? What if this thing just gets blown up and those three characters die? I was like, that would be crazy, but they wouldn't do that. I could think of one person
they could kill off. Yeah, I could think of one person they could kill off in that group, but other than that,
yeah. So then, of course, the Mandalorian comes in and blasts them away. But I was going to ask you what your favorite part of the episode is, but mine is when the Mandalorian takes those last two TIE fighters out. I'm sure Jake was losing his crap during this scene because he loved dogfights and things like that. But I love when he takes the first one out, and then when the ship, he like turns the engines off and flips around and turns the engines back on, and then just goes and they're like heading straight towards each other, and he takes it out. That gave me chills.
I was loving Baby Yoda, thinking he was on a roller coaster ride, and just like,
another dude. So many Baby Yoda moments. Fixing the ship, the classroom scene, the wee. He was going woo on a roller coaster.
He was loving it. He was literally on a roller coaster, loving it. And then he just looks at him and throws up.
Yeah. So it's funny because we get a payoff with the blue cookies. Like, it wasn't just stealing the blue cookies; it was so he could throw up at the end too.
Yeah, it was like, that's pretty typical child. Just yaks. Dad's got to clean it up while he's doing something. So it's that part I was laughing pretty hard. But him flying up like he did, shutting off the engines, and then just drifting straight down. Honestly, I was like, is he gonna run straight through it? Like,
that's what I thought too.
I was like, there's no way. Like, that ship's not gonna. They would both explode. Is he gonna drive straight through it? And then he shoots it, and I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But
I mean, his ship would get heavily damaged at the very least. Again.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So that was a gnarly scene.
Ship pretty quick.
Pretty quick. Even though I think the very end will save for what happened. Yeah.
So and then basically, like, Grievous Cargo's like, come on, let me buy you a drink, and he's like, no, I got to get out of here. And we know where he's going to meet Ahsoka. I mean, has to be what it is. And Dave Filoni's directing episode 5. So
and if you saw the name of the episode,
that has to be it. But so we get this. So first of all, the not the Resistance, but the New Republic officer who was in the episode 3 comes back. And he's in episode 2.
The snow planet one.
Yeah, the spider one, episode 2. He comes back and he's talking. He's like investigating, like, what happened here. And he's, talks to Grievous Cargo, talks to Cara Dune, trying to get Cara Dune to join the rebellion. They're basically trying to get this town to be under the New Republic. She's the marshal or whatever. To me, it's like every planet is like a town, like because Grievous Cargo is like, I need to get these guys off my planet, and it's just like this is the only town in the planet. It seems like
one major town. It's like the hub.
Yeah. So and they're like, we need local support, and they leave the Imperial emblem there, or not the Imperial, but the New Republic emblem there. So that was cool. But then
and the line that he throws at her
about Alderaan.
Yeah, that was a rough line.
Yeah, he's just trying to motivate her. He's trying to get her to be like F the Empire, you know.
That's a rough line. Who'd you lose on Alderaan? Everyone. It's
I knew she was gonna say that when he said that. It was like a typical line, but you imagine like if we were in like some big galactic war and then you were out like on a mission and Earth got blown up, you lose everyone you know. Like, that sucks. That really does suck.
Yes, it does suck.
Like, I mean, that suck is like that's
I know
not a good way to say it. Yeah, it's like that's like the worst possible thing that could ever happen.
Yeah, seriously.
So then we get the end tag.
I think that medallion or whatever you want to call it is going to come back in some form or capacity.
The one that
there's
he left
for her, some significance, yes, because he put it on the table, not just like as like, here, call me if you need me type thing. It was like put on the table, camera pan to it, and made sure you like saw it. So I have a feeling that the first thing I thought of was like the captain's medallion from Rise of Skywalker that Zori Bliss gives to get past the blockade or to get onto the ship. And I was like, I wonder if that's going to be like no, look, we're friends of the New Republic. Like we have this type thing.
That makes sense. I mean, I think she's going to change her mind and join the New Republic, have her planet or town join the New Republic.
Good way to get rid of her,
I'm guessing. And speaking of that, I don't think we're seeing, I mean, there's only 4 episodes left. Yeah. We're not seeing them again this season. I think because where else these last 4 are going to be finishing up this story for this season. Like he's not going back to that planet again. So
I doubt he'll step back foot on Navarro this season.
No, not this season. Not this season. That was hey, these people are still around. Perfect. You need to get a ship fixed, see them again, have one big episode with them, and now they're done for this season. So now he's going to, I forget the name of the planet where he's going to meet Ahsoka, but he's headed there, and we get the end tag with the Imperial officer going to talk to Moff Gideon, and they say the tracker was left on the ship on the Razor Crest, and it's like
the mechanic that looked shisty in the beginning.
Oh, that's true. You're right.
You didn't see that?
No,
he kind of gave him like
it, though. But they kind of set it up to where it was going to be like that. But I mean, like, okay, if you have a spy on that planet or whatever, why doesn't the spy just go take the child? And
I bet you they probably want to find Ahsoka too. Like they probably want, they want to see what he's doing.
I think they just want the child, bottom line. But
I'm sure Moff Gideon at some point is like, I can take them when I want. It's just a matter of when.
Or they know no regular soldier or spy is going to be able to take him from the Mandalorian. Like he knows that they have to use heavy force to get him from him.
Nice little subtle hint and drop you put right there.
Yeah. So basically, I don't know if these are new or you know more about these. What are these suits that they show at the end that they're working on?
So it sounds like it's pretty confirmed that they're called Dark Troopers. It depends. It's a lot of video games.
Are they in the video game?
Yes.
They're like they're ones that are super difficult to defeat, right?
Yes.
They're in Jedi Fallen Order. Aren't they?
No.
They're not?
I don't think so. their
Oh.
older game, I believe.
Well, there was in Jedi Fallen Order, every once in a while there would be like these ones in like black suits that it took a lot harder to defeat them, like when you would fight them.
Yeah.
But
so, I mean, there's different variations and stuff like that, but I have a feel. So here's the picture. The first picture we saw was like that. I personally am thinking, so a Dark Trooper is essentially like 75% robot, 25% human, kind of. And I think what we're looking at is these are clones that are going to be basically gutted and turned mostly into a battle droid and used as an army, essentially. His type of army, a la this picture right here, where he has just a dozen or so of them, just his personal Dark Trooper army type stuff. And
okay. I mean,
what?
So here's the thing. This whole episode changed my mind of what we're potentially going to see next episode and going forward.
It is literally, you cannot predict this stuff anymore.
Well, no, you can't. But I feel like they opened a lot of more possibilities now with two things. With the Razor Crest now has a tracker on it. Yeah. Where is he going? He's going to meet Ahsoka. Now they have a tracker on it. Moff Gideon's heading there with these troopers. To me, it changed things from, because we never thought that Moff Gideon and some army was going to end up in the same place where Ahsoka was. Like, that was the dream, right? Like, that was like, we hope that happens, but it's not going to happen. Now that they have a tracker on his ship, he's heading to meet Ahsoka. I'm sure Moff Gideon's going to show up while he's with Ahsoka. And to me, it went from, oh, it's just going to be an episode where he meets Ahsoka. He talks to her. She tells him some things about the Force. He hands off Baby Yoda to her. She goes. That's what I was expecting. Now, I think we're going to get an action scene with Ahsoka. And I think
Giancarlo
Esposito said he's
probably. I mean, Giancarlo Esposito said he broke 3 dark sabers during training for the season.
Oh, wow.
Or filming for the season. So I can't imagine what is going to come. And to me, if you're breaking dark sabers in filming, like, you're not getting shot at with blasters or stuff like that. Like, you have to be hitting something else.
So I truly believe, and I don't know how many episodes this would take. I think if Ahsoka's only in one episode, I think this next episode is going to be like 45 minutes. And I think
she'll be in 2. After seeing this, I think she's going to be in 2.
I think he's going to show up. He's going to meet her. They're going to talk. We're going to learn more about what Ahsoka's been doing. She's going to meet the child. They're going to talk about the Force, and he's going to be like, I have to leave him with you. And she's going to be like, no, he needs to go home to his people or whatever. Something like that, right? And while they're there, I don't know if actual Moff Gideon's going to show up or just like a whole bunch of troopers, but they're all going to show up, and they're not going to know that he's with someone who used to be a Jedi. And I think we're going to get this big action scene with Ahsoka and the Mandalorian taking on Moff Gideon and this.
You think that's all going to happen in this episode?
I think it's going to happen this season. I think it's going to happen either in the next
think what's going to happen
2 episodes, possibly.
Sorry.
No,
I think you're right. I think Gideon is going to show up at the end of 5, and then stuff's going to go down in 6.
That makes sense. I could see
where we're going to see more action.
This whole episode is
they're going to use this episode to give Ahsoka as much attention, because you got to think of it this way. People that haven't watched Clone Wars or Rebels,
they've never
have no idea who Ahsoka is.
That's a great point.
Like other than me telling my sister, like, oh yeah, she's a Jedi from the animated series. She has no clue who this person is when she shows up. Like if they don't make a big deal about who she is, my sister or people that don't watch it as religiously is going to be like, they're probably not going to even realize that that's an important person.
Well, and another thing is she was Anakin's apprentice. Like that's exactly a huge part for general Star Wars fans. I think they need to know that because like my brother is a huge Star Wars fan, right? He barely knows who Ahsoka is only because I've mentioned her before and I have a figure of her. Like, and my best way of explaining him to her, he was, because people know what an apprentice is and people know who Anakin is. So I'm like, she was Anakin's apprentice during like in between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. And I feel like that's the best way to explain her to casual Star Wars fans. Do you think she name drops Anakin in this episode and in this season?
I don't think she name drops him. I think she will refer to him probably as my master.
Yeah, just a hint.
My old master or something like that along the lines.
Makes sense.
Doubt. Well, because people don't even in Bloodline, people didn't even know Leia was related to Darth Vader until that got spoiled. And that's it. We're kind of in the, I want to say the same vein timeline, Bloodline in Mandalorian. So
so people didn't know that Anakin is Vader until then. Basically.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say it's probably safe to assume she'll just refer to him. Oh yeah. I mean, Ahsoka for sure knows because Rebels happened.
Yeah, exactly.
So she knows, but
tell him that her old master was
she ain't gonna meet. Yeah, she ain't gonna meet someone and be like, "Hey, guess what?"
He doesn't even know. Like, he might not even know who Darth Vader is. Maybe he does because it was only 6 years ago.
What Kylie says is the question I'm wondering the most. Will she? Because she's pretty adamant.
Probably.
She's pretty adamant about saying that she is not a Jedi a lot.
You might say I'm no longer a Jedi or I'm not a Jedi anymore or something like that.
So.
But the whole point is that she's a Force user. And because he says he has to bring the child to some old sorcerer enemies or whatever. And the bottom line is that she's a Force user. And that's what he's looking for. She might be like, what am I going to do with him? Like, he doesn't.
We have no idea what she's been doing at this point.
It's going to be like, I think she's going to say either he needs to go like back to his species, or she's going to be like, he needs to stay with you. He's attached to you now. Like he sees you as a father. He needs to stay with you. I think that's what she's going to tell him. But I think eventually, unfortunately, I think that she's going to, by the end of her run on this season, she's going to realize maybe I should take the child with me. And he might be going with her.
Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, as much as we would love them to stick together, like he would probably die with the child almost being exactly how he is, age-wise. I mean, maybe a little bit.
True. Yeah.
Like human years, he'd probably be like a year.
Ooh, that's
maybe
a fair point,
two more mature.
That is a great point. By the time he dies of old age, if he lives that long, the child's going to be like barely old. Like, let's say that's 50 years from now, right?
He'd be like 2 years old, 3
He'll be
years
100,
old.
Right? Like, yeah. And what how
like
old was Yoda?
Human
1,000?
years.
900 something?
Yoda died at like 900, around 800 to 900. So,
okay, so the child would be like 10. Because
I guess.
50 years is like 5 years old, I would say, maybe.
He'd probably be somewhere between the age of 5 and 10, let's say, by the time Din dies.
Maybe he's talking by then, but still, like, he's going to lose him. So maybe it makes sense for him to be with his own species so, like, he can age properly with them. And who knows if they're even exist still.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's so far in the future, maybe not. We don't know at this point. This next episode is going to change a lot.
If you're saying that like Ahsoka's in the next 2 episodes, possibly, which I think is fair to say because I heard we've only had 7 directors confirmed for this season. That's what I've heard. Do we know who's directing episode 6 for sure yet?
No, and I don't want to know.
So
we still have Robert Rodriguez somewhere in this.
Ooh, he might. I think it's a possibility.
We know Filoni's next.
Filoni does 6, where it's like Ahsoka and Mando.
Filoni does 5.
Oh, Filoni does 5 with Ahsoka and Din talking a lot. Like it's going to be a lot of dialogue and things like that. And Rodriguez might do 6 with the action, like with the battle. I can see that.
Kylie, I don't think they want to clone the baby. I just think they want it to know how it's got its midichlorians. Although, if there's going to be a lot of little babies, I'm not going to mind because that'd be cute.
I'm glad they found a way to never say midichlorians again. They just say M count.
Yeah. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
They're just like, whatever.
So every episode.
Oh, here we go. Someone's watching.
Nice. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They premiered. They confirmed 7 directors. So if that would mean it's Filoni, Rodriguez, Favreau, who would do episode 6 or 7 is going to be Rodriguez. Interesting.
I don't know.
Who else is
directing? I don't know.
Don't we know though, like who the group of directors are?
Maybe Fukuyama. I don't.
Oh,
I know Deborah Chow isn't doing it. I know. Well, we know Taika isn't doing it, and we know Deborah Chow isn't doing it. So,
that would make sense. So, if every episode has like a mission, right? Every episode has like we need to accomplish this by the end of the episode. What do you think that's going to be next episode, or do you think it's more of just a story-driven?
Yeah. Okay, Jake. We literally just said we didn't want to know,
but we don't know who's directing which episode. Like.
Yeah,
but I'm telling you, Femi could do the action-oriented episode as well. I think that's a possibility.
It'll either be 6 or 7. I mean, whatever.
So do you think next episode is like more of like, okay, let's relax, let's just have story dialogue. Moff Gideon shows up at the end, or do you think there's going to actually be like some type of mission with action next episode?
I don't think there's going to be a mission. I think his mission is going to be finding her.
Yeah,
and halfway through. He'll find her, and then the end, when they're done, or they figure out their plan, is when maybe Gideon shows up, and then that's where it ends. And then we'll see 6 a little bit more with these dark troopers too, and see what comes of that. So
I cannot believe we're gonna see Ahsoka on screen, man. Like that's crazy.
It's gonna be wild. I'm for sure. I don't work next week, so
this is like
perfect timing for me.
True, like
yeah.
And it's Thanksgiving night, like going into Friday. Man,
don't eat too much turkey so that way you're sleepy.
I know, right? I might take a nap and then wake up. I'm gonna take a nap and wake up at 11:45. There we go.
Yeah, I don't care as long as I can see. I don't need to hear sound. I don't need to hear anything. As long as I can see Jake Berlin's face on camera when she appears, that's all I need.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. That's like this is possibly on the level of a new Star Wars movie coming out. Like, I guess as far as excitement level goes.
Next episode is going to change a lot of things. A lot of things are probably going to.
The thing is, like,
because if Filoni's doing it, there is an extra level of importance to it.
The thing is, I know we all would have loved to see Ashley Eckstein in the role, but the thing is, like, Filoni chose to cast somebody else and chose to cast Rosario Dawson. And I mean, I'm assuming, I don't know if that's true, but I'm assuming Filoni had a lot to say.
I was going to say, do you have a personal line? And
I wish. But the way that Ahsoka talks and the way that Ahsoka's mannerisms are, like Rosario Dawson is perfect for it. I could already hear her doing it in my head. Like, and I already know she, like, I can hear her saying, "Hey, little guy," like to to the child. I could just already see it. So,
Chuck, that is a genius idea, and I'm gonna pitch it tonight to Molly. That is genius, absolute geniusness.
Yeah. So, any other
If I forget,
speculation
remind me.
going forward? Anything else from this episode?
No, I think we covered it. I think the most interesting is going to be where these dark trooper clone things come from. What's going to go on with that? I don't think we're going to find out much this season. I think that's probably going to be a big chunk of next season.
Yeah.
So, but one thing we've learned this year is don't think you know what's coming, because they are going to throw some stuff at you that you are like, what? Wait, what? Where'd that come from? So, I mean,
the thing to me is, like, if you're bringing in Ahsoka, right? Who can defeat her in this show? Not many people, like not anyone so far that we know. So if you're bringing in, I don't think Moff Gideon, because Moff Gideon is not a Force user as far as we know. So,
but whatever he did, he was good enough to take over Mandalore.
Yeah, so he's probably a capable fighter, I'm sure, but he cannot defeat Ahsoka unless he's a Force user, which he's not. So you need something that is a big enough threat that, like, if they attack Mando and Ahsoka, what's going to be a big enough threat? Like 20 of those troopers and Moff Gideon. So
I mean, it clearly seems like he has a limited supply of them. So I would highly doubt he's just going to be like, throw them all out there and let them do what they want. They're not going to be these expendable stormtroopers.
Can you imagine Ahsoka slicing through them and just like crushing them with the Force and throwing them into each other? Oh man, that would be pretty fantastic.
Kylie, the season finale is going to be insane. But yeah,
it is.
Next episode's going to be wild.
Yeah. Well,
even if it's no action, it's going to be important.
I don't care. Even if it's just him and Ahsoka talking the whole time, I'm down for that. I'm totally down for that. Well, I think we covered everything and talked all we can about what we expect. That's going to do it.
I'll throw this right here. I doubt it. It could.
I mean,
but I doubt it.
I could see, like,
because I would assume it's still kind of controlled by the Empire. Because from what Bo-Katan was saying, like, we need these weapons to take back Mandalore and stuff like that. So I would say we are probably not going to step foot on Mandalore just yet. Maybe on our way to Mandalore.
Yeah, if they're going to have Bo-Katan get the Darksaber in this season, which I don't know if they are.
She ain't getting it.
Whenever that happens, whenever we're going to see Bo-Katan get the Darksaber is when we're going to see Mandalore again. I think possibly, I don't know, because there's 4 episodes left, and like you said, Brian, this show is so unpredictable. So I think it's possible that all of season 3 is just about taking back Mandalore or something like that and getting the Darksaber back. It's possible.
Absolutely.
But we'll see. All right, yeah, well, that's going to do it for this episode of the Fandalorian Club. We talked all we can. There's 2 of us, and we still want 50 minutes, so that's pretty damn good.
I was hoping we were going to go past 20.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. That's why we do it. We love talking with you guys. We really appreciate all the comments. Again, I'm Jacob Bartley. That is Brian Avellino. If you have not subscribed to Apocaflix Movies, we do the Fandalorian Club every Friday at 4 p.m. Thanks again. We'll see you next time. And may the Force be.
Say it again.
May the Force be with you.